I said, Tim, I don't know how to say this, but in terms of singing the voice on these songs, and he said, it's okay, you'll do it. And I was like, we started with just his outline. There was no script, but he had these beautiful drawings, and he explained a little bit at a time, and then I would write songs based on the part he would explain until we had created this whole song, 10 songs, and from there, they put together the whole script and everything else. Every song was the same way. It's like Tim would say, okay, now Jack's wandering in the forest, and he's going to seize these 3 doors, and he gets sucked down into the door. He's telling me the story as if I were a kid. I said, tell me the story just like that. Pretend I was your nephew or niece, and you're sitting around the fire at night telling a story. And he would tell me just that part of the story. And when Jack comes out of this, falling down this vortex, snow and there's lights, and he's so excited. And as he's telling me the story, I'm hearing the song, the beginning of the song in my head. And each song pretty much worked like that. He would just tell me part of the story, and I would get very excited, and I would say, okay, go, go, go. And 3 days later, maybe I would call him up and say, okay, I have a song. There's children throwing snowballs. Instead of throwing heads, they're busy building toys, and absolutely no one's dead. There's frost in every window. Oh, I can't believe my eyes. Then in my bones I feel the warmth that's coming from inside. Oh, look! What's this? They're hanging mistletoe. They kiss? Why, that looks so unique. Inspired! They're gathering around to hear a story. Roasting chestnuts on a fire. What's this? So it was very fun, and it was really almost just all done in a kitchen, with like playing some songs on a little tape recorder, and then, oh, great. And then here's the next part, and he'd show me pictures and drawings, and it would explain it, and then I would do the next part. It was very, very clear and simple. Well, I mean, it's always interesting working with Tim Burton because he has such an amazing mind, and people think I could read his mind after 38 years, but I can't. I never quite know what he's thinking, but, it's such an imaginative place. When we get together and do things, it's always a great pleasure. But in the beginning, it was just the two of us. Neither of us knew how to start a musical, so we just started making songs. And we didn't know how many we would have, and we just kind of improvised. And I suppose the best anecdote would be one night we went into the studio, just me and Tim, and I was going to make a tape recording of every song, all the voices. So I had a microphone, and we did one song at a time. I did the big voices, little voices, group voices, everything but Sally. And after I came out of the booth, all night singing this stuff, I realized that I really needed to sing the part of Jack Skellington, that I really felt Jack Skellington. And I said, Tim, I don't know how to say this, but in terms of singing the voice on these songs, and he said, it's okay, you'll do it. And I was like, well, Jack has to begin with this feeling of dissatisfaction. He's the king of Halloween land, but he's dissatisfied. And that's one of the reasons I felt so close to Jack, because at that point in my life, I was the lead singer and songwriter for a rock band, but I wanted to move out, and I didn't know how. So in Jack's plight, I felt my own plight, and I poured that into how I felt about Jack. Well, I love stop motion animation. It's an area that Tim and I both feel very much the same about. There's something very pure and organic about stop motion, and we both grew up on much science fantasy films with stop motion of the wonderful animator named Ray Harryhausen. And Ray Harryhausen was the original stop motion animator that did from King Kong on to many, many things. And so he was like an inspiration. And as a child, I loved the stop motion animation, and he obviously loved it. So I'm so glad when people are like Tim are still keeping it alive, because the digital animation is amazing and you could do anything, but the stop motion animation is still special. It still feels handmade, and I love that. I love playing in Mexico. The Mexico audience has always been a very warm place for me, so I'm very happy to be here. And of course, playing with local and young musicians is always a pleasure for me.